90 seconds.
A minute 30?
Yeah, 90 seconds. We're doing 90 seconds. All right.
Joe, we're going to have you try sitting on this because the height difference is really bad.
Really? Why don't you just point it out? Why don't you?
Oh, now I'm taller.
I hate you so much. This isn't realistic.
I could have sat on the desk.
I don't like this.
Now Joe is shorter than Logan.
So we're about to go live here soon, y'all. So we got another 30-second coming up. Hey, Emily, when we're on the TV, when you know we're live on the camera with us, can you point at us? Keep pointing at us.
Like thumbs up.
And then when we're off the camera, I want you to do the thumbs up, okay? Okay. Tonight's OAC matchup between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the Capital University Crusaders. Hello, everyone. I am Joe Scott, alongside Logan Weaver, and Andrew Dunlap is on sideline. And Logan, it started snowing today, and it was really cold outside, and hopefully the Muskies are hoping not to have a cold night here in the ANC Seal Center after the John Carroll loss.
Yeah, the weather outside may be frightful, but the Muskies are definitely warming up on the court and ready to go for tonight's game against the Capital Crusaders, wanting to come back from a disappointing loss to the John Carroll Blue Streaks as they lost by about 40 points in that game. So they're already 0-1 in conference play, 1-4 overall to come into this game. So something definitely needs to change as they prepare for the rest of the season. But it is a long season, so we'll see if they're able to come away with a victory tonight.
And the Capital Crusaders are coming in 0-1 as well in conference play, coming off a tough loss against Ohio Northern. So, you know, they're going to be looking to get their first OAC tonight and try to spoil that for the Fighting Muskies tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So the Fighting Muskies do have a couple injuries on their team tonight, as the senior center will not be playing tonight, and the backup freshman will also be injured from what I've been hearing. So we'll see who is able to step up for this Fighting Muskie team. We were saying during the radio pregame that some of these Muskies do need to step up tonight in tonight's game, as only Jarrell Marsh and Marcus Dempsey are averaging points in double figures. Everyone else is in single points, and the number of assists per game is just under 3 per game. That is almost unheard of, and they definitely need to spread the ball around more. And I would expect that to come from Jarrell Marsh and Marcus Dempsey, the two previous freshmen of the year in the OAC.
And for the Capital Crusaders, one of the players to watch out for is Joey Weingartner, the leader in scoring for this team. So he's going to be one of those players to watch tonight as well for the Capital Crusaders.
Yeah, absolutely. About 14 points per game for Weingartner. And they are, as we said during the radio pregame as well, that they are spreading the ball around a little bit more with 3 players in double figures and everyone else not far behind on that Capital roster. So they are spreading the ball around a little bit more. So the Fighting Muskies either need to match that on the offensive side to stay competitive or stop that from Capital, or a mixture of both.
And the coaching battle, Coach Schwab versus Coach Goodwin, a veteran OAC coach versus a third-year tenure coaching Coach Schwab. So it should be a very good coaching battle as well tonight.
Absolutely. Coach Schwab in his third year with Goodwin over 20 years of experience with the Capital Crusaders, so that is definitely going to may play into tonight's game. But Coach Schwab, just because he's been here for 3 years doesn't mean he hasn't had the success. Last year, it's been a slow process for the Muskies, but in his third season, things are definitely looking up for the Muskies, especially after a Cinderella run in the OAC tournament last year.
We are almost at tip-off, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more of your pregame, so keep it right here on the Orbit Media TV, and on our YouTube channel, Orbit Media TV.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
And we are back live from the ANC Steel Center between the OAC matchup between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the Capital University Crusaders. Hello, everybody. I am Joe Scott alongside Logan Weaver for tonight's call, and Andrew Dunlap is on our sideline tonight. We are going to go to Andrew Dunlap, who has Coach Schwab for his interview. Andrew, sending it to you.
All right, thanks, guys. Now, Coach, with a team as young as yours, mostly made up of sophomores and freshmen, what were you telling the team, the locker room, before they headed out?
Well, we just need to focus on playing better basketball, and that's in all three phases: offensively, defensively, and rebounding. And we've got a lot of work to do, but this team has practiced very, very hard, so we're making progress. We're on the verge of playing some good basketball.
All right, and with the loss of Mitch Clark and Jacob Geller both tonight, what is your main focus for the team tonight overall?
Playing together. It's a next man up mentality. We're going to miss Geller. We're going to miss Clark. But, hey, we've got other players that it's their opportunity to shine. So I'm excited to see what we can do tonight.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you. Back to you, Joe.
All right, thank you, Andrew. So, yeah, having Jake Geller and Mitch Clark is going to hurt this team. But just like he said, they're going to need to come together for tonight's game and try to beat this very mentally sound Capital Crusaders ball club.
Yeah, despite the 2-4 record for Capital, they do have the experience of the coaching staff and only one senior on the team as well. So it's kind of balancing out for this Crusaders team. They're still trying to figure some things out with a young team as well. But the Fighting Muskies are about similar with the exception of Coach Schwab having only 3 years of experience as head coach. But in those 3 years, they've been pretty decent. Last year, as we said during the pregame, earlier in the pregame, I should say, a Cinderella run in the OAC tournament last year. So things are looking up for this Muskie team. They just have to work better together as a team and not focus so much on Jarrell Marsh and Marcus Dempsey. They are the stars of this team. However, they definitely need to spread the ball around a lot more because they are scoring a lot more than the rest of the team.
We are 3 minutes away from tip-off, and we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more of your pregame and the national anthem. So keep it right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on our YouTube channel at Orbit Media TV.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like, that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries, or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
And we are back live from the ANC Steel Center for tonight's OAC matchup between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the Capital University Crusaders. Hello everyone, I am Joe Scott, alongside Logan Weaver, and Andrew Dunlap is on sideline. And with about a little less, about 1 minute 15 left for tip-off, a lot of questions to be answered. We'll see if the Muskies can get back on track after the tough loss on Saturday against the John Carroll Blue Streaks. So, you know, they're going to be ready. And also the Capital Crusaders coming off a tough loss to Ohio Northern in their first OAC game. So we have 2 teams that are really ready to go at it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The Muskies playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder tonight. As we said before, they did lose big to the John Carroll Blue Streaks up at University Heights. So they are definitely looking to avenge that in one of the few home games that they've had so far this season. But they're definitely looking forward to playing once again on their home court. And I can only imagine that they're pretty excited to be back on their home court, ready to get into the thick of things here in the OAC schedule and their schedule in general. And as we said, 1-4 to enter this game. Definitely not the start that Coach Schwab and his team probably would have wanted, but things are looking up as it is a long season for the Fighting Muskie basketball team. So plenty of time for them to come away with a victory.
And you know the fans are happy too, because the ANC Steel Center is piling up, as this is only their second home game of the year after being on the road for a few games and having some home losses on the year. We're about to have the national anthem coming up here pretty soon. So we are going to go live right now. We're going to listen live for the national anthem, so keep it right here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Steel Center. We are on the beautiful campus of Muskingum University for today's Ohio Athletic men's basketball game, featuring the Crusaders of Capital University and your Fighting Muskies. To our American ladies, please rise and please remove your hats to the flames out. National anthem.
The national anthem, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams are ready. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have your starting lineups and tip-offs. So keep it right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on YouTube at Orbit Media TV.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul.
Estimated time, 47 hours.
They will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
And we are back live from the ANC Steel Center for tonight's OAC matchup between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the Capital University Crusaders. I am Joe Scott alongside Logan Weaver, for we have tonight's call, and Andrew Dunlap is on the sideline. And we have our starting lineups right now. So for the visiting Capital Crusaders is number 3, Austin Schreck, number 14, Cameron Caldwell, number 22, Joey Weingartner, number 40, Caleb Cox, and number 45, Tyler Jamison. So those are your starting 5 for tonight's game for the Capital Crusaders. And for the Fighting Muskies, number 0, Jarrell Marsh, number 1, Marcus Dempsey, number 4, Jalen Page, number 5, Tyler Bardell, and number 44, Brandon Key. So that is your starting lineups for both teams.
And we'll see if Brandon Keys is anything like his older brother Joshua Keys was, as his older brother Josh Keys is now playing overseas, so he is finally able to get the start tonight.
So again, Jacob Geller is not starting tonight for the Fighting Muskies. And also another switch for the Capital Crusaders, as number 13, Dan Auble, is not starting tonight. So they have made a switch as well, did the Capital Crusaders. Taking the tip-off is Jarrell Marsh and Tyler Jamison. And we are underway from the ANC Steel Center as Tyler Jamison wins the tip and gets it to number 14, Cameron Caldwell. Schreck will be to the left wing. To Jamison, to Weingartner to the right wing. Back to Schreck. His left hook is up, no good. Rebounded by Jarrell Marsh of the Fighting Muskies. Marsh to Marcus Dempsey near the left wing. Dempsey drives, kicks it out to Jalen Page, but he was fouled during the pass, and it will be a throw-in for the Fighting Muskies. And that will be, and the foul is on Cameron Caldwell for the Capital Crusaders, his first. Jalen Page will throw it in, get it to Marcus Dempsey near the left corner. Dempsey driving, gets it to Jarrell Marsh near the left wing. Marsh driving, dishes it to Brandon Keys, and his shot is blocked, but he was fouled by Tyler Jamison, and Brandon Keys is going to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Still kind of leaning heavy to begin with on this first play, so not too surprised that they're leaning heavy on Marcus Dempsey and Jarrell Marsh, but it's still early on in the game.
Keys' first free throw of the night. Back of the rim and no good. Keys' second free throw attempt is good. 1-0 lead for the Fighting Muskies. 19-25 remaining in the first half. Bring it up for the Crusaders will be Caldwell. Gets it to Schreck near the right wing. To Jamison. Back to Weingartner to the left wing. Back to Caldwell. Top of the key. To Cox near the right wing. He gets it to Jamison in the post. His drop set layup is no good, but rebounded by Cox, and his shot is good for Caleb Cox, and he gets his first 2 points of the game and a 2-1 lead for the Capital Crusaders. And Jalen Page will get it up to Jarrell Marsh in the left wing, as the Crusaders look like they're going in a 1-3-1 zone on defense. Ball is kicked by Joey Weingartner. It will be Fighting Muskie basketball.
That ball landed in about the 5th or 6th row up there in the stands, so first person experience for this Fighting Muskie team, or for this Fighting Muskie crowd tonight. But yeah, Fighting Muskies, we'll see if they're able to pass the ball around more as Jarrell Marsh and Marcus Dempsey start out with the ball.
Marsh, top of the key, drives, kicks the keys in the post, kicks it back out to Marcus Dempsey. His three-pointer is good. Marcus Dempsey, his first shot of the night, giving the Muskies a 4-2 lead. Marcus Dempsey.
And now you see why they are the top scoring players on this team, as Dempsey does hit the 3.
Caldwell being guarded by Page. Caldwell back to the point. to Austin Schreck near the right wing. Schreck gets a screen from Cox. Back to Caldwell near the right wing. Caldwell drives, kicks it to Jamison near the post. His shot is no good. Rebounded by Jalen Page with the loose ball. Page looks at Jarrell Marsh. Marsh's layup is good. Jarrell Marsh for the Fighting Muskies.
Excellent job. Excellent throw by Page to get Marsh, and great fake by Marsh to get the bucket.
Caldwell, top of the key, gets the screen from Cox. Caldwell loses it and is stolen by Jarrell Marsh. Marsh being chased down by Jamison. Marsh's layup is good. Back-to-back baskets for Jarrell Marsh on the breakaway layup.
And a great start by this Fighting Muskie team. Very aggressive on defense as well as on offense in turn.
Jamison near the top of the key gets it to Schreck. Gets it to Weingartner. His three-pointer, good by Joey Weingartner. His first bucket of the day for the lead scorer for the Crusaders. Page to Jarrell Marsh. Again, Crusaders sitting in that 1-3-1 zone. Page gets it to Marcus Dempsey near the right corner. Dempsey back to Page near the right wing. Gets a screen from Brandon Keys. Back to Jarrell Marsh near the left wing. Dempsey dishes it to Brandon Keys, and he is blocked by Cameron Caldwell of the Crusaders, but it will stay Fighting Muskie basketball.
So I guess it's Brandon Keys who is filling in for the injured Jacob Geller. So we'll see how that affects the Fighting Muskie team. He doesn't quite have the height as some of the defenders down low for Capital, as we see, and a great job by Dempsey, but was unable to connect on that one.
Dempsey misses his first shot of the night. Rebounded by Caldwell of the Crusaders. He gets it to Cox. Cox to Weingartner. Weingartner kicks it back up to Cox for the left corner J, and it is good for Caleb Cox.
Focused a little bit too much on Weingartner on that one, which left Cox wide open.
Page to Jarrell Marsh into the left wing. He gets it to Bartle. Bartle back to Marsh. Marsh to Jalen Page near the right wing. Back to Marsh. Dempsey, left wing. Dempsey back to Marsh near the right wing. Marsh, step back J is good for Jarrell Marsh. 10-7 lead for the Fighting Muskies, 16 minutes remaining in the first half.
Marsh has just about outscored this entire Capital team already about 5 minutes in, as he has scored already 6 points.
Cox in the right corner. Cox gets to Caldwell. Caldwell driving against Marsh. Almost stolen by Jarrell Marsh, but Caldwell able to keep it. Jamison almost lost the ball, but he throws it away to Marcus Dempsey, and he will bring it up the court for the Fighting Muskies in the fast break. Marsh blocked on the play by Caleb Cox, so he gets it back out to Jarrell Marsh. His three-pointer, no good, back to the rim, rebounded by Caleb Cox of the Crusaders, and he will get it to Cameron Caldwell.
That was a nice effort by Brandon Keys to try and keep the play alive, but was not able to.
Joey Weingartner gets the floater to go, and that is his second bucket of the night for the Crusaders. As Page will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies, gets it to Marsh, back to Page. Page back to Marsh near the left wing. To Bartle in the left corner. Marsh to Page. Page gets the Keys in the post, back out to Page near the right wing. Page driving. Was going to go to Bartle, but it was tipped back to Jarrell Marsh in the left wing. Dempsey has 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets it to Jalen Page. His three-pointer from the rim, no good. Rebounded by Austin Schreck of the Crusaders.
Looked like he tried to get the pass. It was actually hit off of Cameron Caldwell's arm, which ended up going back to Jarrell Marsh.
Caldwell gets a screen from Jamison, and it is tipped away by Brandon Keys, but not able to keep his feet in bounds, and it will be Crusaders basketball. Checking into the game for the Fighting Muskies is number 2, Rashae Douglas, and number 21, Cameron Miller.
I did like what I saw from Brandon Keys. He was very aggressive in this opening, up until this point before going to the bench, but a great effort from Keys so far in this game, as it is now 11-10.
As the Capital Crusaders take the lead, 11-10. And checking in for the Crusaders was number 13, Dan Auble. Page. They left them wide open in the right wing, and his shot is no good. Rebounded by Caleb Cox of the Crusaders. And he will get it up to Auble. Auble gets it to Jamison in the post. His layup is no good. Rebounded by Cameron Miller. He will get it to Page. Will bring it up near the right side. Page gets it to Jarrell Marsh, top of the key. Marsh back to Dempsey, left wing. As the Crusaders look like they switch it to a man-to-man. Dempsey being guarded by Cox, puts a few moves on him, and he was fouled on the layup attempt. And will he go to shoot 2 free throws? Yes, he will. It says he was in the act of shooting. Marcus Dempsey to the free throw line.
A very aggressive start by both teams. It is 11-10 in favor of the Crusaders. However, both have been very aggressive and have kept up that theme for both the offensive and defensive sides.
Dempsey's first free throw is up and good. Marcus Dempsey on the season is a 56% free throw shooter.
Checking in for Jalen Page is number 20, Aaron Gelkin, out of Zanesville.
Dempsey's second free throw is good. 12-11 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Obel on the left wing, being guarded by Aaron Gelkin. Shrek drives. His spin-around jump shot is rimmed out and rebounded by Jarrell Marsh of the Fighting Muskies. Marsh gets it to Geckel. Back to Marsh. His step back J is good for Jarrell Marsh. 8 points for Jarrell Marsh as he's off to a fast start for the Fighting Muskies. Shrek to Weingartner. Back to Obel. To Cox near the top of the key. Cox was looking for Weingartner, but he was tipped on the play by Cameron Miller, but it will stay Crusaders basketball. And checking into the game for the Fighting Muskies is number 3, Devon Pert. He will check in for Marcus Dempsey.
Before that ball went out of bounds, it was off the hand of Jarrell Marsh, which keeps it Crusader ball.
Obel being guarded by Gelkin. As Shrek gets at the Cox in the post, and he is fouled on the play by Cameron Miller, and Cox will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. As he was fouled on the play by Cameron Miller, his first of the night. Cox's first free throw is rimmed in, and it's 14-12 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Cox's second free throw is good. 14-13 lead for the Fighting Muskies. 12:56 remaining in this first half. As again, the Crusaders will go into that 1-3-1 zone. Pert, right corner, skips it ahead to Page, to Marsh, who gets to Douglas. His three-pointer off the rim and no good, rebounded by Austin Shrek of the Crusaders. Shrek kicks it out to Weingartner into the right corner. Garner being guarded by Douglas. Weingartner gets it back out to Shrek, who gets it to Abul, who gets it to number 11, Will Hanna, who checks into the game for the Crusaders. Weingartner back to Hanna. Back to Abul. Abul to Shrek. Gets it back out to Hanna for the top of the key three-pointer off the back of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Jarrell Marsh of the Fighting Muskies. Marsh being guarded by Austin Shrek near the left wing. Marsh driving. His step back J altered by Shrek. Bad shot and rebounded by Will Hanna of the Crusaders.
And that's where I probably would have kicked it out to the right by Jarrell Marsh as that ball goes in and out. Muskies now have possession once again, but Marsh tried too much on that previous possession to try and make something happen on his own. But that's the thing, what's been biting the Muskies so far this year has been Marsh and Dempsey keeping the ball a bit too much.
Marsh driving, kicks it out to Gelkin, and miscommunication between him and Gelkin, and it'll be a turnover for the Fighting Muskies. Capital Crusaders ball. Checking back in for the Fighting Muskies is number 1, Marcus Dempsey, and number 44, Brandon Keys. And for the Crusaders, number 10, Gavin Woodermuth.
And Jarrell Marsh will come to the bench. Already 8 points in the contest out of the Muskies 14.
Bring it up for the Crusaders will be Woodermuth. Excuse me, Abul back to Woodermuth, back to Abul near the top of the key. Gets it to Hanna at the free throw line, but he kicks it out to Woodermuth. His three-pointer is no good, but rebounded by Caleb Cox of the Crusaders. He gets it back out to Hanna, gets it to Abul, back to Woodermuth. Abul, top of the key, throws it into Cox, who loses the pass and gained by Devon Pert of the Fighting Muskies, who takes it coast to coast, and it is up and good for Devon Pert, and one opportunity for the Fighting Muskies.
An amazing job by Pert to get that and one opportunity.
As Devon Pert will go to the free throw line to shoot 1 free throw. Foul on the play was by Dan Abel of the Crusaders, his first of the night. 16-13 lead for the Fighting Muskies. 11:08 remaining. And Pert makes his free throw. 17-13 lead for the Fighting Muskies. As number 13, Dan Abel will bring it up for the Crusaders. He gets it to Weingartner. Back to Abel. To Wildermuth. To Weingartner in the corner. Back to Abel, who gets to Cox at the free throw line. Kicks it back out to Abel. Abel looking. Top of the key. Left him wide open. He takes a shot off the front of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Devon Pert. Pert gets it to Marcus Dempsey. Dempsey, left wing. Dempsey driving, kicking to Gelkin. His three-pointer off the back of the rim. No good. And almost rebounded by Keys, but rebounded by Will Hanna of the Crusaders. Abel to Wildermuth. Kicks it out to Hanna. His three-pointer is good for Will Hanna of the Crusaders. 17-16 lead for the Fighting Muskies.
The Muskie defense hasn't been quite as aggressive as we saw in the first 10 minutes of this game as we now reach halfway through the first half.
Dempsey. And they call a carry on Marcus Dempsey. Turnover by the Muskies. And checking into the game for the Fighting Muskies, number 15, Jason Peoples. Number 5, Tyler Bardo checks back into the game. And checking back in will be Jalen Page. And bringing it up for the Crusaders will be Dan Abel. Abel gets it to Wildermuth. Gets it to Schreck, top of the key. Schreck gets it to Abel. Back to Wildermuth, left wing. Wildermuth gets it to Will Hanna. Back to Abel near the right corner. His three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Marcus Dempsey of the Fighting Muskies. Dempsey will bring it up. Guarded by Wildermuth. Kicks it out to Bartle. And he will get it to Peoples near the right wing. Peoples driving. And he looking for a teammate and gets it to Bartle near the right wing as he gets it to Jalen Page, right wing. Page gets a screen from Brandon Keys. Page driving. Gets it back out to Peoples. His three-pointer off the front of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Tyler Jamison of the Crusaders, and he will get it up to Dan Abel at the right wing. Kicks it back out to Tyler Jamison, Tyler Key, who gets it to Wildermuth. Wildermuth skips it to Austin Schreck. Schreck gets it to Tyler Jamison. Jamison kicks it back out to Schreck. His right corner three. Bang! Austin Schreck as the Capital Crusaders regain the lead, 19-17.
Pretty evenly matched so far between the Muskies and the Crusaders as we expected. So we'll see if the Muskies leadership is able to go as that one is kicked by the Crusaders.
Jalen Page tried to get it to the post, but it was kicked by Will Hanna of the Crusaders. And the Muskies will retain the possession and checking back into the ballgame for the Crusaders. Number 14, Cameron Caldwell, as he will check Dan Abel out of the game. Dempsey will bring it up for the Muskies. Dempsey to Page, right wing. Page left them open again at the right wing. Three-pointers no good. Rebounded by Cameron Caldwell of the Crusaders. Caldwell. He will try and take coast to coast, and it is a charge as Jalen Page stood his ground, and it is a turnover by the Crusaders. Offensive foul on Cameron Caldwell.
Nice try by Page to stand his ground in the paint and get the charge call and get the ball back to the Muskies.
As Bardo will throw it in for the Fighting Muskies. And checking into the game for the Crusaders will be number 10, Gavin Wildermuth. Page to Peoples near the right corner, and he's got himself trapped, but he was able to escape and get it back out to Jalen Page at the right wing. Page gets a screen from Keys, kicks it out to Bardo near the right wing, and it looks like he stepped out of bounds. Oh, he traveled on the play. Turnover by the Muskies, and it will be Crusaders basketball.
And we're starting to see the youth show through for this Fighting Muskie team. Just these little mistakes have been costing them so far. However, they are only down by 2, and it's still pretty early in the game.
8:15 remaining in this first half. 19-17 lead for the Crusaders. As number 10, Wildermuth, brings it up for the Crusaders. Gets it to Joey Weingartner. Back to Austin Schreck, top of the key. Schreck gets it to Will Hanna. Looking for Tyler Jamison. The post has got himself up nicely, and his shot is good, and he's going to go to the line for an and one opportunity. Is Tyler Jamison of the Capital Crusaders. 21-17 lead for the Crusaders. 7:59 remaining in the first half. And the foul is on Brandon Keys, his first of the ball game. Jamison's free throw is good, and he completes the three-point play. 22-17 lead for the Crusaders. Dempsey gets it to Jalen Page near the right corner. Page to Marshall, to Marsh, top of the key. Marsh to Jalen Page near the left wing. Back to Bartle, to Jarrell Marsh at the free throw line. His floater is no good. And rebounded by Austin Schreck. He was able to keep it in bounds and get it to Wildermuth of the Crusaders. And Marcus Dempsey bumps Wildermuth on the play. And Marcus Dempsey came up a hobble in there a little bit. He might have tweaked his ankle on that one.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye out on. Out for the Fighting Muskies, as Dempsey is one of the top players on this Fighting Muskie team. But on the previous possession, it looked like Marsh tried to do a little bit too much on his end to try and force that one in, and it's definitely costing the Muskies as they are now down by 5.
Will Hanna, top of the key. He will throw it into Tyler Jamison in the post, being guarded by Brandon Keys. His jump hook, no good. Rebounded by Jarrell Marsh of the Fighting Muskies. Good defense by Brandon Keys. Marsh will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies. Marsh crosses over, kicks it out to Jalen Page in the left corner. Page driving, throws it to Brandon Keys in the post. Trying to look for an open lane, but it was blocked by Taylor Jamison of the Crusaders. He'll kick it out to Marcus Dempsey near the left corner. Dempsey being guarded by Wildermuth. Dempsey asking for some room. His step back J, front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Tyler Jamison of the Crusaders.
Great defense by the Crusaders, but it looked like Dempsey's still trying to favor that left leg just a little bit.
Weingartner's jump shot is good, and that is a 24-17 lead for the Capital Crusaders. And timeout by Coach Schwab, as it is a full timeout. And with that, we're going to take a break as well. So keep it right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on YouTube at Orbit Media TV.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
And we are back live from the ANC Steel Center as the Muskies are down 24-17 with 6:39 left in the first half. We're going to go down to Andrew Dunlap, who has an update for us. Andrew?
All right, thanks, guys. I listened into a little bit about what Coach Schwab was talking about with his team. He said he was looking for the team to be a little bit more aggressive, attacking the paint on the offensive side. Meanwhile, he's also looking to try to get the players to trap the corners and make it hard for them to feed it down low. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Andrew. As the Muskies get back the possession after the timeout, as Jerome Marsh is at the left wing. And Crusaders again sitting to end that 1-3-1 as Jerome Marsh double dribbled on that play. And this 1-3-1 is giving these Fighting Muskies trouble.
Looks like Marcus Dempsey's doing a little bit better after possibly tweaking his ankle just a little bit before the timeout, but he does look like he's back to full speed.
Schreck, right wing, gets it to Will Hanna. His three-point shot, front of the rim, no good. And we have a foul on the floor. It looks like we may have an over-the-back call, a push. And it's on the Muskies, number 5, Tyler Bartle. His first of the night. Checking back into the game for the Crusaders, number 40, Caleb Cox, and you check in for Will Hanna. And throwing in for the Crusaders is Austin Schreck. As Schreck will get it to Caleb Cox, who'll get it to Tyler Jamison, who'll get it to Joey Weingartner at the top of the key. Gets it to Joey Weingartner, his three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Jarrell Marsh of the Fighting Muskies. Jarrell Marsh will bring it up. He gets it to Bardo, his three-pointer, rimmed in, rimmed out, and rebounded by Joey Weingartner of the Crusaders. Weingartner will bring it up, top of the key. Step back Jay, back to the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jerome Marsh of the Muskies. Marsh gets it to Dempsey. Left wing, Dempsey looking to drive. Step back Jay, good by Marcus Dempsey. 24-19 in favor of the Crusaders, 5:35 remaining in this first half.
That stops the bleeding for the Muskies as they now trail only by 5, but it's been a little bit of a struggle as the Crusaders have been just a little bit more aggressive than the Muskies as they just haven't been able to get back into the rhythm.
Schreck to Jamison in the low post. Jamison kicks it back out to Schreck near the right wing. Schreck driving. Kicks it back out to Woodermuth. His three-pointer front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Alston Schreck. Almost tipped, but it was gained by the Crusaders. Weingartner's three-pointer front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Cameron Miller, and he will get it to Jalen Page. Page brings it up for the Fighting Muskies. Page. Backdoor cut for Jerome Marsh, and it was tipped on the play by Austin Schreck. Schreck will bring it up for the Crusaders. And he is fouled on the play by Cameron Miller. And Austin Schreck will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. 24-19 lead for the Capital Crusaders. 4:46 remaining in this first half.
Yet another foul by this Muskie team. The youth is definitely, and the inexperience is definitely showing through for this Fighting Muskie team. Not having that senior leadership. They've only got one senior on the team, and he's currently out for today's game with an injury. So they're looking up to Jarrell Marsh, the junior, but he's seeming to take everything on his own for the most part. They definitely need to spread the ball around a little bit more and get everyone more involved.
And checking back into the ballgame for the Muskies will be Devon Pert and Rashay Douglas. And checking in for the Crusaders is number 25, Sam Lash. As Marsh will throw it to Douglas near the left wing. Douglas gets it to Page, left corner. Douglas, his jump shot is good. Good jump shot by Rashay Douglas of the Fighting Muskies.
Those are his first points of the night for Douglas.
Jameson kicks it to Lash, who will get it to. Back to Lash and back to Abul. Back to Gardner near the right wing. Cox will kick it out to Lash, who will kick it out to Abul near the left wing. Great cut by Tyler Jamison, and his layup was good, and an and-one opportunity for Tyler Jamison for the Capital Crusaders.
Looked like he may have took a hand to the face on that drive as he gets it. May have been hit in the eye on that one, so as he will attempt the free throw, it looked like it may have been Jalen Page.
And that is Cameron Miller's second foul of the night, and Brandon Keys will check back into the ballgame for him. 28-21 lead for the Crusaders, 4:06 remaining in this first half. Jameson's free throw attempt is up and off the back of the rim, rebounded by Jalen Page of the Muskies. He will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies. Page to Marsh, kicks it out to Douglas near the three-pointer. Bang for Rashay Douglas of the Fighting Muskies. 28-24 lead for the Capital Crusaders. 3:50 remaining in this first half.
Good work by Douglas. Has scored the last 5 points for the Muskies.
Lash, left wing. Muskie sitting in that 2-3 zone, changing up on defense. Jamison. Back to Lash with a left corner three, and that is good for Sam Lash of the Crusaders. 31-24 advantage for the Crusaders.
Muskies have had no answer to the on defense beyond the arc for the Crusaders as they have been lighting it up from beyond the arc.
Devon Pert to Brandon Keys in a low post. Keys kicks it back out to Page at the right wing. Keys back to Pert, back to Douglas near the left corner. Douglas, his drive layup is good. Great layup by Rashay Douglas, and he has the last 5 points for the Muskies.
Make it 7 points.
7 points.
For the Fighting Muskies. He's already second on the team in points today with 7 points behind Jarrell Marsh with 8.
The freshman doing great things coming off the bench for the Fighting Muskies. Lash, top of the key, who would get it to Abul near the left wing. Back to Jamison, who skips it ahead to Weingartner. His step back J is good for Joey Weingartner, the leading scorer for these Capital Crusaders. 33-26 advantage for the Capital Crusaders. 2:30 remaining in the first half. As Marsh is at the left wing, who kicks it ahead to Jalen Page in the right wing. Back to Pert. Back to Page. Keys will set a screen for Page. Page gets it out to Jarrell Marsh. His left wing three is good. Jarrell Marsh, 33-29 advantage for the Crusaders.
And that'll put Jarrell Marsh into double figures already here in the first half with 11 points.
Weingartner being guarded by Devon Pert, who gets it ahead to Jamison, who gets it to Lash, left wing. Who gets it to Cox at the free throw line. Who will get it to Tyler Jamison in the post. Jamison, his jump hook is no good. Looks like we're going to have an over-the-back call on Caleb Cox of the Crusaders. Great box out by Brandon Keys. And checking back into the game for the Fighting Muskies is number 1, Marcus Dempsey, with 1:49 remaining in this first half. Capital Crusaders up 33-29. And that is Caleb Cox's second foul of the ball game. Page will get it ahead to Marcus Dempsey, who will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies as the Crusaders will sit once again in that 1-3-1 zone. Page gets it to Keys. Back to Page near that right corner. Page will drive. Gets it ahead to Rashae Douglas near the left wing. Douglas will drive. Kicks it back out to Page. Back out to Douglas, who get it back out to Dempsey. Dempsey. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Back to Douglas. His three-pointer. Bang! Rashae Douglas. He has the last 10 points for the Fighting Muskies, as the Muskies are now down by 1 with 1:13 remaining.
That gives Douglas 10 points on the night, and the Muskies have started to transition after that timeout, have been trying to go beyond the arc.
Lash's three-pointer is no good, rebounded by Brandon Keys, who will get it ahead to Jalen Page. Less than a minute left in this first half. As the Crusaders will go to a man-to-man defense here and switch it up a little bit. Page, left wing, to Brandon Keys at the free throw line. Keys gets it to Marcus Dempsey. Dempsey driving. His step-back jumper is good by Marcus Dempsey, and the Muskies regain the lead, 34-33 with 35 seconds remaining. Auble. Six difference between shot clock and game clock, as the Muskies will have the last shot. Lash back to Auble near the left wing. Auble to Will Hanna, top of the key, looking for Tyler Jamison in the post, and a great defense by Brandon Keys, and they will get it ahead to Jalen Marsh, whose layup is no good, but rebounded by Marcus Dempsey. They got 5 seconds. Dempsey's shot is no good, but he was fouled on the play, and he's going to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws with 3.2 remaining. Great effort by Marcus Dempsey to get that rebound and get the ball up and get the foul. And that will be Dan Auble's second foul of the game. Marcus Dempsey's first free throw is up and good. Checking back into the ball game for the Crusaders will be number 3, Austin Schreck. Dempsey's second free throw is good. 36-33 lead for the Fighting Muskies.
And now give Dempsey 11 points as well.
And it looks like the shot wasn't off in time, and that is the end of the first half as your Fighting Muskies take a 36-33 lead into halftime, as Jarrell Marsh and Marcus Dempsey are tied with the team lead in 11 points. And we're going to go to Andrew Dunlap, who has Coach Schwab with the halftime interview. Andrew?
All right, thanks, guys. Now, you guys came back in a great comeback there to end the first half. What are you looking to tell the team in the locker room to get how to maintain this momentum?
Boy, it's a 40-minute game, and in the OAC, it's all about physical and mental toughness. So we need 20 more minutes of, Capital's a tough team. You got to be really tough and match their intensity and their toughness.
All right, thanks. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Andrew. So Muskies were back and forth between the Crusaders, but they're able to take a 3-point lead in a halftime, and that's a good sign for the Fighting Muskies, but a lot to improve on because we saw a lot of bad shots and some mental mistakes there in that first half.
Yeah, the youth of this team is definitely showing through and the lack of experience. However, they definitely held their all against this Crusaders team. 36-33 the score going into halftime. Still a lot of time to build on that lead and keep the Crusaders down.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have your halftime report. So keep it right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on YouTube at Orbit Media TV.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
Hi.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
Hoping for a
This
crisp
is what
breeze
high
help
blood
keep
pressure
you
looks
alert.
like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke
he
are
took a
far
sip of
from
water
invisible
too.
or silent.
That'll probably
If
help.
you've come off
You
your
were probably
treatment
going to turn down the
plan,
radio
get back on
too.
it, or
so you
talk with your
could
doctor to
focus.
create an exercise, diet, and
Probably
medication
okay
plan that
isn't
works
okay.
for you.
If you
Go to
see a warning sign, stop and call a
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the creative galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world
Will you help me make art?
before you throw it away.
Hey, I have an idea.
Think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Steel Center for your halftime report as the Muskies take a 36-33 lead into halftime. Hello, everyone. I am Joe Scott, alongside Logan Weaver and Andrew Dunlap is your sideline reporter for tonight's game. So Muskies taking an early 36-33 lead into half. A lot to improve on after that first half because they made a lot of mental mistakes and a lot of bad shots. So hopefully they can improve and do better in the second half with that.
Yeah, but the usual suspects are leading this Fighting Muskie team in Jarrell Marsh and Marcus Dempsey, both of them in double figures already. But we're starting to see a little bit of that experience come through, or that talent come through for this freshman class, I should say, for the Fighting Muskies, as they are definitely starting to step up. Brandon Keys, the junior, has definitely stepped up in his role as starter for today's game. The Muskies started out pretty aggressive in the game, but have kind of slowed things down a little bit, as after the first time out, or right before the first time out, I should say, the Fighting Muskies had kind of stayed aggressive, but Capital kind of switched the game up a bit, so the Muskies weren't able to adapt right away, which cost them about a 7 to 9 point lead at one point to the Crusaders. However, after the timeout, the Muskies have definitely come out strong, have really slowed things down, but have really been trying to hit shots from beyond the arc as well, from what I've seen. But so has Capital. They've also tried to go beyond the arc as well on offense to try and see if they can get a couple more threes in there as well. So both of them have kind of similar game strategies at this point, and as you can tell, we can tell that because it's still pretty close at 36-33.
And one of the freshmen that have stepped up tonight is Rashae Douglas, who has 10 points, and he was on a little 10-0 run of his own in that first half. So he's one of those players that have stepped up in that first half, and he's played very well for these Fighting Muskies.
Absolutely. Already 3 players for the Fighting Muskies in double digits. Usually it's only Marcus Dempsey and Jarrell Marsh for the Fighting Muskies in double figures. They're the only ones who average in double figures right now with over 20 points apiece. Right now it's looking like they may be well on their way, but right now the Muskies have, as we said during pregame, they're starting to spread the ball around a little bit more. Not so much early on, but as the game progresses, started to slow things down. A couple of substitutions here and there. Devon Perch got in the ball a little bit more. He was the leading scorer against John Carroll. And you got to think about that as well. They're coming in with a chip on their shoulder, so they definitely wanted to come out aggressive against Capital. And we've seen that so far when they started, and they've kind of slowed things down since then.
And for the Crusaders, the leading scorer is Joey Weingartner, who is their team leader in points already. So he's done very well for himself tonight, and he's going to be one of those players, though, that the Muskies have to contain, because when he gets going, he can be very, very bad trouble for this team.
Absolutely. The Muskies and the Crusaders were very aggressive at the start of the game, both offensively and defensively. A lot of missed shots early on as well because of that. But as the game progressed, they were both able to come together, or come and really start hitting their shots a little bit more. They were able to slow things down. Capital was able to do so a little bit early on, but since then, it's been an absolute tear for the Muskies. It was at one point 31-24 for the Crusaders. However, it's since been the Muskies, about a 12-3 run for the Muskies to end the first half. So a lot of potential left, and even Coach Webb said going into half, there's still a couple things that they need to work on. But up by 3, it's a little bit of a cushion, not the cushion that you probably want, but it's still at least the lead going into half.
So Muskies and Crusaders, close game here at halftime as the Muskies take a 36-33 lead at half. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more of your halftime report right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on YouTube at Orbit Media TV.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And we are back live from the ANC Steel Center as the Fighting Muskies take a 36-33 lead at half. Hello, everyone. I am Joe Scott, alongside Logan Weaver and Andrew Dunlap is your sideline report tonight. So we talked a little about the players that stood out in that game. So probably some keys to look forward to in the second half as the Muskies have to do a lot better in turnovers. Had 5 turnovers on the game, some mental mistakes. So hopefully they can continue to get better on that and also share the ball in this second half, because you can't rely too much on Dempsey and Marsh, even though they're your 2 best players. But those guys have to get involved, but you also have to get some other players involved as well.
Absolutely, as the Muskies have been a little bit better at spreading the ball around on offense already, with 6 assists in the game, usually coming in averaging just under 3 assists for the game. So the Muskies have already done a better job at spreading the ball around, and it's shown as Jarrell Marsh does lead the team in points with 11. Marcus Dempsey also up there with 11, but Rashae Douglas with 10 points as well. Other than that, though, Brandon Keys with 1 point from a free throw, and Devin Pert with 3 points on his own. So the assists have been to the main guys that we usually say, Joel Marsh and Marcus Dempsey. And then Jalen Page with 3 assists as well has yet to get on the board as far as scoring. So expect to see more ball movement by the Fighting Muskies as the game goes on.
Should be a very interesting second half as the Muskies hopefully will continue to get better in the second half, and the Crusaders will not go away. They're a very tough team, so you know that these Crusaders team is going to come out fighting in the second half.
Absolutely, and as we said before, the Muskies just need to spread the ball around a little bit more, as Capital's been doing that a little bit better with 9 assists overall. So definitely want to see the Fighting Muskies spread the ball around, get some more guys involved in scoring. As we said, Brandon Keys and Devon Pert with 1 and 3 points respectively. The other 3, there's only 3 other scorers on the team so far. Jalen Page and Tyler Berard, who started the game, have yet to score. However, Page does have 3 assists so far, but they, as you said, they need to cut down on turnovers. 5 turnovers by the Fighting Muskies, but on the other hand, 5 turnovers by the Crusaders as well. So turnovers have definitely been an issue for both teams.
And with that, we're going to take a break, but we're going to send it back to the Geyer studio because Johnny Newart has your Orbit News update, and after that, she'll send it right back to us for the second half action. So keep it right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on our YouTube channel at Orbit Media TV.
what to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Welcome everyone to Halftime Report. I'm Andrew Dunlap, giving you an update on what happened in the first half. We had the Fighting Muskies, who were trailing but for a good margin of the first half, make a big comeback and take control in the second half to get with your leaders being the known criminals of Jarrell Marsh and Marcus Dempsey, putting up a total of over 20 points a game. And then you get a surprise appearance from Rashae Douglas coming off the bench, putting up double-digit points of his own. Meanwhile, for Capital, we have a couple of guys are close, but nowhere near double digits. And the Muskies have been taking control by attacking the rim and getting some fouls called in their favor. Oh, that was your halftime report. I'm Andrew Dunlap.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Oh. She's doing good. And we are back live from the ANC Steel Center for your second half action as the Muskies take a 36-33 lead. I am Joe Scott alongside Logan Weaver, and Andrew Dunlap is the silent reporter as the Muskies will gain the ball to start this second half with Dempsey at the right wing. Dempsey, his step back J off the back of the rim, no good, and rebounded by Austin Schreck of the Crusaders. Leading point getters for the Fighting Muskies, Jarrell Marsh and Marcus Dempsey, each with 11 points in for the Crusaders. Joey Weingartner with 9. And Joey will have the ball for the Crusaders. His layup is no good, rebounded by Brandon Keys of the Fighting Muskies, and he will get it ahead to Jalen Page. top of the key. Gets it to Marsh at the right wing. Marsh driving. His left-handed layup is good for Jarrell Marsh. 38-33 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Campbell, he will throw it into Cox in the low post. And he is blocked. Oh! They said Jarrell Marsh may have gotten a body on him. And Cox will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws.
Marsh is very confused by that call, so we'll see how this ends up being for the Muskies. But they still lead by 5, pending the free throw, make it 4.
38-34 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Cox makes his first free throw. And that foul is actually on Brandon Keys, it looks like, given his second foul of the night. Cox's second free throw rims out and is rebounded by Brandon Keys of the Fighting Muskies, and he will get it to Jalen Page. Page, right wing. Looking for Jarrell Marsh, and that back up is now able to get it to him. He will get it to Brandon Keys at the top of the key. Keys gets it to Tyler Bardo. Bardo to Marcus Dempsey. Dempsey gets a screen from Brandon Keys, and they're going to call an illegal screen on Brandon Keys, and that will be Keys' 3rd foul of the night. 2 quick fouls for Brandon Keys. And checking into the game for the Fighting Muskies is Cameron Miller, who also has 2 fouls on the night as well.
Yeah, that is now 3 fouls for Keys on the night. Definitely not something that you want to hear if you're a Muskie fan, as Keys has definitely been pretty aggressive in his first start of the year in place with the injured senior. So we'll see if he's able to stay out of foul trouble for the rest of the game.
Weingartner in the post. Left-handed shot is good for Joey Weingartner of the Crusaders. 38-36 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Page will bring it up, and the Crusaders will once again sit in that 1-3-1 zone. Page to Dempsey, back to Page. Page will get it to Dempsey at the right wing. Dempsey gets it to Page. Page gets it to Jarrell Marsh near the left corner. Marsh gets it to Cameron Miller. His layup is good. Great dish by Jarrell Marsh to get it to Cameron Miller, as he has his first 2 points of the ball game. Jamison to Weingartner at the left wing. Weingartner gets it to Cox at the left corner. Cox was throwing it to Weingartner. He was tipped by Marcus Dempsey, but regained by Joey Weingartner of the Crusaders.
Nice effort by Dempsey, was just not able to come away with the steal.
Weingartner, his jump shot is good for Joey Weingartner. Back-to-back buckets for Joey Weingartner. Dempsey, right wing. Again, the Crusaders sitting in that 1-3-1 zone to Bardo. Dempsey, right wing. Back to Bardo. Bardo, back to Dempsey. Dempsey to Marsh. Marsh back to Dempsey near the left wing. Dempsey splits the D, kicks it out to Jalen Page. His three-pointer is blocked by Cameron Caldwell of the Crusaders, but it will still be Fighting Muskies basketball with 3 seconds left on the shot clock.
Great defense by the Crusaders, and especially Caldwell for blocking that shot.
Dempsey will throw it into Marcus Dempsey. He's got 2 seconds, and they will not get it off in time. Great defense by the Capital Crusaders. So that is a shot clock violation. Capital Crusaders basketball.
Crusaders defense came to play tonight, especially here in the second half, as it's still been a pretty close game to start just over 3 minutes in to the second half.
Jamison to Caldwell into the left corner. Caldwell driving against Page. Caldwell's driving layup is good. Tie ball game at 40, 6:40 remaining in this ball game. Page will get it to Dempsey. Dempsey. Kick it out to Jarrell Marsh into the left corner. Marsh drives, kicks it out to Jalen Page. His right wing three is good for Jalen Page. His first three-pointer of the night. 43-40 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Caldwell bring it up for the Crusaders. Gets it to Tyler Jamison in the post. Tried to kick it out to strike, but it was stolen by Jarrell Marsh of the Fighting Muskies. Great hands by Jarrell Marsh, who will get it up to Dempsey. Dempsey driving. Dempsey, his layup is no good. Rebounded by Tyler Jamison. Wild shot by Dempsey. He was not able to get the go. As they throw it up to Caleb Cox of the Crusaders, and he gets the layup to go. 43-42 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Marsh gets it to Jalen Page. Page Get it back to March near the top of the key. Back to Page. His left wing three. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Tyler Jamison of the Crusaders. And he will get it to Caldwell. Caldwell drives, and it is tipped on the play by Jarrell Marsh. Great hands by Jarrell Marsh, but it will still be Capital Crusaders basketball. And checking back into the ballgame for the Fighting Muskies is number 2, Rashae Douglas.
Douglas has been pretty impressive tonight, coming off the bench already with 10 points on the night, all of them in the first half.
Weingartner, his right corner three, rimmed out and rebounded by Jarrell Marsh of the Fighting Muskies. And Marsh will bring it up the court. Marsh, top of the key. Looking for Dempsey near the left wing. Dempsey being guarded heavily by Austin Schreck. He was able to get the steal against Dempsey. Great defense by Austin Schreck of the Crusaders. He will get up to Joey Weingartner. Back to Schreck. Jamison could not handle the pass and was stolen by Jalen Page of the Fighting Muskies. Page, he drives for the layup, and he is fouled on the play by Cameron Caldwell. And Jalen Page will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws.
Nice effort by Page. Just the height difference, was not able to get it over the defender, but he will go to the line for a chance for 2 more.
And that is number 14, Cameron Caldwell's 3rd foul of the night. Page's first three throws up and good. Checking back into the ballgame for the Crusaders, this is number 13, Dan Auble. 44-42 lead for the Fighting Muskies, 14:51 remaining in this ballgame. Page, second free throw is good, 45-42 lead. As Dan Auble will ring it up for the Crusaders. To Weingartner near the left wing, back to Schreck, top of the key. Schreck to Caleb Cox. Cox almost stolen by Devon Pert, and Devon Pert got his hands on Weingartner, and he will be called for a foul. His first of the ball game. Checking into the game for the Fighting Muskies, number 42, Kalen Howell, the freshman. Dan Auble will throw it in for the Crusaders. And he will get it to Austin Schreck. His driving layup is good for Austin Schreck as they get it to 45 in a 44, 1 point deficit. 45-44 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Page will get it to Devon Pert near the right corner. Back to Page. Gets a screen from Howell. Page, his floating jump shot, no good. Rebounded by Caleb Cox of the Crusaders. And he will get it ahead to Joey Weingartner. Weingartner gets a screen from Cox. And it is stolen by Devon Pert. Good hands by Devon Pert. And his layup is good. And Devon Pert's going to go to the line for an and 1 opportunity. Great hands and steal by Devon Pert.
That's another acrobatic throw or acrobatic shot by Devon Pert. Had one in the first half, which led to an and 1 situation, and will do the same here in the second half.
Checking into the game for the Fighting Muskies, number 20, Aaron Gelkin. And for the Crusaders, number 2, Reed Bradfield. As everyone in the ANC Steel Center went quiet, but Devon Pert was not able to convert the and 1 opportunity. And Pert has 5 points on the night. Joey Weingartner, top of the key, back to Dan Gobble. And it's stolen once again by Devon Pert. His layup is good for Devon Pert. Great back-to-back defensive plays by Devon Pert to get the easy layups. 49-44 lead for the Fighting Muskies.
Excellent job by Pert here recently for the Fighting Muskies. Almost came away with another steal right there.
Schreck. The Gobble. Bradfield. Oh, Devon Pert almost got another steal, but he got some hands on it. And that'll be his second foul of the game. And Devon Pert is on a mission right now, playing very hard. And checking into the game for the Fighting Muskies is Marcus Dempsey for Jarrell Marsh. And it looks like we may have a timeout on the floor by the Fighting Muskies. It looks like it's a full timeout. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. So keep it right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on YouTube at Orbit Media TV.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
And no, we were not able to get to Andrew on that one, so we are back to action. As Bradfield is called for the illegal offensive screen, and it will be Fighting Muskies basketball. 49-44 lead for the Fighting Muskies, 13:26 remaining in this ball game. As Geklin will bring it up for the Muskies. He will get it to Douglas near the left wing. Back to Gelkin. To Devon Pert, right wing. Back to Gelkin near the right corner. Gelkin skips it ahead to Marcus Dempsey. Dempsey gets a screen from Howell. Kicks it back out to Devon Pert. Pert, they got 4 seconds. His three-pointer, no good. And we'll have a push by, it looks like, one of the Capital Crusaders defenders. And it looks like the foul might be on Joey Weingartner, who pushed one of the Fighting Muskies players. And that'll be his second foul of the ball game. Throwing it in for the Fighting Muskies, number 20, Aaron Gelkin. And Gelkin will throw it in and get it to Devon Pert near the left wing. Pert will get it ahead to Marcus Dempsey at the top of the key. Dempsey, back to Pert. Back to Dempsey, top of the key. Dempsey back to Devon Pert near the left wing. Pert gets it through two defenders, gets it to Howell, who skips it back to Gelkin, who gets it to Dempsey, back to Douglas. His three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Caleb Cox. Great ball movement, but not able to finish it off for the Fighting Muskies.
Yeah, I was about to say, great ball movement for the Fighting Muskies, but as you said, wasn't able to get it done.
Shrek, his layup, as he is fouled on the play. Looks like they're going to probably call this on either Howell or Gelkin. As it looks like they're going to call it on number 42, Kalen Howell, his first of the night. And going to the line to shoot 2 free throws is Austin Shrek. His free throw is good. 49-45 lead for the Fighting Muskies, 12:26 remaining in this ball game. And checking back in will be Jerome Marsh. It looks like we had some confusion. As the refs have some confusion on whether Jerome Marsh is going to come back in, but Jerome Marsh will stay at the scores table. Austin Shrek. Second free throw is good for Austin Shrek. 49-46 lead for the Fighting Muskies, and Jerome Marsh will be able to allow to come back into the ballgame. And bring it up for the Muskies will be Marcus Dempsey. As the Crusaders once again still sitting in that 1-3-1 zone. Marsh back to Dempsey. Dempsey will get it to Devon Pert. Pert, right wing. Back to Dempsey at the top of the key. Back to Pert. Sees the lane. Takes the driving layup, and it was good for Devon. Pert saw the lane open, and he took full advantage of it.
A great second half so far by Pert, as he's definitely coming up big. He was the leading scorer against John Carroll and has definitely showed up in this game.
Bradfield was driving, then he stepped on the out-of-bounds line, so turnover for the Crusaders, Fighting Muskies basketball. And checking into the game for the Crusaders, number 45, Tyler Jamison. As Dempsey will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies. Dempsey to Jarrell Marsh. Marsh gets it to Rashae Douglas. His driving Kicks it out to Marcus Dempsey, whose three-pointer is no good, rebounded by Caleb Cox of the Crusaders.
Dempsey's just been off the mark here in the second half, has yet to score almost 9 minutes in.
Cox back to Weingartner. Great screen and roll by Cox as he's able to finish with a open layup. Cut the deficit by 3, 51-48 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Terrell Marsh will bring it up. Marsh kicks it out to Rashay Douglas at the left corner. Douglas gets it to Howell for his jump shot, rimmed out, no good, rebounded by Dan Auble of the Crusaders. Auble back to Schreck, to Caleb Cox at the top of the key. Cox back to Schreck. Schreck back to Auble. We'll get it to Cox at the free throw line. Cox driving against Rashay Douglas. And they said Cox used his off elbow, knocks down Rashay Douglas, and that is an offensive foul against Caleb Cox.
Good job by Douglas to draw the foul. Kind of questionable from my end, but he was able to convince the refs otherwise and get the ball back for the Muskies.
Maybe a little bit of an acting job there by Rashay Douglas, but the refs saw it, and it is a turnover for the Crusaders.
Wondering if he's in Dr. Rayo's
classes. Dempsey will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies. Dempsey, top of the key, as the Crusaders will go to a man-to-man. Back to Page, who gets it to Rashay Douglas at the top of the key. Douglas to a cutting Jarrell Marsh, but he will bring it back out near the left wing. Back to Dempsey. Dempsey, one-on-one against Joey Weingartner. Gets his shot to roll in as he got the floating layup to go. Did Marcus Dempsey, 53-48 lead.
Those are Dempsey's first points of the half, and it came almost 10 minutes into the second half.
Great layup by Joey Weingartner as he was able to cut through the lane and get the easy layup. 53-50 lead, Fighting Muskies. 10 minutes remaining, halfway there through this ball game. Dempsey, back to Douglas. Douglas would get it to Jalen Page near the right corner. Back to Douglas at the right wing, skips it ahead to Jerome Marsh near the left wing. Jerome Marsh loses the ball and is stolen by Caleb Cox. Throws it to Austin Schreck ahead, and Schreck misses the layup and rebounded by Brandon Keys, and he will skip it ahead to Jerome Marsh. Marsh gets it to Rashay Douglas, who was fouled on the play by Tyler Jameson. Hard foul, but Rashay Douglas is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws.
Douglas has been pretty impressive tonight, already in double digits, as he will get a chance to add a couple more on this free throw attempt.
Douglas, his first free throw. Front of the rim and no good. Checking back into the ball game for the Crusaders, number 10, Gavin Woodermuth, and number 11, Will Hanna. Douglas's second free throw. Is good. 54-50 lead for the Fighting Muskies, 9:33 remaining in the first half. And we have another timeout on the floor, as it looks like it will be a 30-second timeout for the Fighting Muskies. We're going to keep it right here. And look, the Muskies off to a good start here in the second half, 9:33 remaining, 54-50 lead. The Muskies doing a little better offensively and moving the ball around here.
Yeah, but so is Capital. It's still only a 4-point game. Came into the half as a 3-point game, so the Crusaders haven't let the Muskies get away too much. It's been pretty even so far. Not a whole lot of defense on either side so far in the second half, but both teams have been pretty impressive. I'm very impressed with Rashay Douglas so far today into this game, and then Devon Bird has had a pretty good second half here as well.
As the timeout is over, Crusaders will get the ball. And Campbell will bring it up for the Crusaders. Woodermuth to Weingartner at top of the key. Weingartner gets it to Jamison near the left wing. Back to Hanna. Hanna, he cuts to the basket. Kicks it out to Campbell near the top of the key. Campbell, his driving layup. Stolen by Jerome Marsh of the Fighting Muskies, and Jerome Marsh will try to take it end-to-end, and his shot is no good. And rebounded almost by Marcus Dempsey, but it looks like Tyler Jamison got a hold of Marcus Dempsey, and that is Tyler Jamison's 3rd foul of the night. And Dempsey has a 1-and-1 opportunity as we are already in the bonus.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to hear if you are a Crusaders fan, but Dempsey is able to go to the line, so this is good news for the Fighting Muskie fans as Dempsey now makes it a 5-point lead.
First free throw is good for Marcus Dempsey. 55-50 lead, 9:05 remaining in this ball game. Dempsey's second free throw, front of the rim, rebounded by Wildermuth of the Crusaders. He will skip it ahead to Joey Weingartner. Weingartner drives towards the layup, try to get the layup to go, but they're going to call a blocking foul on Brandon Keys. Pretty questionable foul right there, as Brandon Keys says he didn't even move, but that will be Brandon Keys' 4th foul of the ball game. And it looks like Howell is going to check back into the game for the Fighting Muskies after Keys picks up his 4th foul.
Gerald Marsh is closing in on a double-double. Looking at the stats so far, 13 points so far in the game with just under 9 minutes left to go. And he has 7 rebounds as well, so he is closing in on that. Brandon Keys with 6 rebounds as well, with 1 point coming from the opening point of the game so far.
Weingartner's first free throw is good. And Howell will check back to the ballgame for the Fighting Muskies.
Someone else to keep an eye on for the Crusaders is number 40, Caleb Cox, 11 points and 8 rebounds. So he is also closing in on a double-double as
Weingartner's
well.
second free throw is up and good. 55-52 lead for the Fighting Muskies. 8:50 remaining in this ball game. Page gets out of the double team, and he gets it to Marcus Dempsey near the right wing. Dempsey back to Jalen Page near the right corner. Gets it to Howell at the free throw line. Kicks it back out to Page. Page driving. His floating left-handed layup was no good, but rebounded by Howell on the backside for an easy layup. Kalen Howell. Campbell bring it up for the Crusaders. Weingartner, his three-pointer is smooth and good for Joey Weingartner. So he cuts the deficit to 2 for the Crusaders, 8:20 remaining. As Weingartner is leading both teams in points with 20 points. As the ball is kicked by Weingartner of the Crusaders, and it will be Fighting Muskie basketball. And number 5, Tyler Bartle will throw it in for the Fighting Muskies. As there was some confusion about the shot clock, but it still sits at 22 seconds. Dempsey to Jerome March. Long three-pointer. Didn't even touch the rim, but rebounded by Howell to get the hustle rebound. Gets it to Marcus Dempsey at the left corner. His three-pointer. No good. Rebounded by Jalen Page, though, of the Fighting Muskies, who gets it back out to Dempsey. Dempsey driving. Awkward jump shot is no good, but he is fouled on the play as he was pushed, and Marcus Dempsey is going to go back to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws.
Great effort so far by the Fighting Muskies here in the second half. Still, as you mentioned, a 2-point game as the Crusaders are in the bonus, but the Muskies have been pretty aggressive so far. They've spread the ball around a little bit more than we've seen them in the past, as they do have 8 total assists, usually averaging about 3 in the game. So they've improved on that. However, if you look at total scoring, it's still Jerome Marsh and Marcus Dempsey leading the way. However, Rashae Douglas with 11 points on the night as well as Devon Pert with 9 points. So they're doing a little bit better. Jalen Page with 5 points as well. A little bit better spreading the ball around, as it is now a 4-point lead after Dempsey's free throws.
Wildermuth, left wing. Back to Hannah, who checks into the ballgame for the Crusaders. Gets to Albo, whose three-pointers off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jarrell Marsh, who will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies. Marsh driving. His layup is good by Jerome Marsh. 61-55 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Less than 7.5 left in this ballgame. Auble, top of the key to Schreck. Schreck gets it back to Wildermuth at the top of the key. Back to Hannah, left wing. Hannah to Cox. Back to Schreck, who gets it to Hannah at the top of the key. He drives, and he is fouled on the play by Tyler Bartle of the Fighting Muskies, and Will Hannah is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. 7:04 remaining. 61-55 lead. Hannah to the free throw line. 2 free throws. First free throw is good for Will Hannah. 61-56. Checking back into the ballgame for the Fighting Muskies is number 2, Rashay Douglas. And for the Crusaders, number 22, Joey Weingartner.
Both teams have already made it into the bonus with just over 7 minutes to go here in the game.
As Hannah makes a second free throw, and Capital is going to take a timeout, as it is a 30-second timeout. We're going to keep it right here. Muskies up 61-57, 7:04 remaining in this ball game. Muskies are already, both teams are now in 1-and-1 opportunities, so both teams are going to have to be smart here, and some players are getting into foul trouble, so it should be interesting here going down in the final 7 minutes.
Yeah, most certainly. As you said, both teams are getting close to foul trouble with players on both sides, and as you said, they will have to play it smart as it'll be close going down the stretch as it is only a 4-point game, so maybe, just maybe, fouls may determine the outcome of today's game.
As Cameron Caldwell, speaking of foul trouble, he has 4 fouls as he's still on the bench, one of the key players for the Crusaders. And Dempsey will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies. Dempsey to Jarrell Marsh. Marsh to Douglas. Almost stolen, but Douglas able to gain the ball. Marsh to Devon Pert, who checks into the ball game. Back to Marsh. Back to Rashay Douglas. His three-pointer in front of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Caleb Cox of the Crusaders. Cox will get it to Wildermuth, who gets it Joey Gardner. His three-pointer in front of the rim. No good, but rebounded by Austin Schreck, and he puts it back up for a 2-point layup. 61-59 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Great effort by Austin Schreck to get the rebound and put the ball back up for 2. Dempsey gets it to Jarrell Marsh near the right corner. Marsh back to Dempsey. Dempsey to Devon Pert. Devon Pert, his jump shot is good by Devon Pert. 63-59 lead for the Fighting Muskies. As Wildermuth will bring it up for the Crusaders, he'll get it to Hannah. Hannah looking for a cutting Wildermuth that is stolen by Devon Pert, who has another steal on the night. Devon Pert, his layup is no good, but he is fouled on the play by Will Hannah, and Devon Pert is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 more free throws with his 4th steal of the game. As Devon Pert will go to the free throw line, 5:56 remaining, 63-59. First free throw is no good for Devon Pert. Checking into the game for the Muskies is number 4, Jalen Page. And Devon Pert will go for his second free throw. And that is good. 64-59 lead for the Fighting Muskies.
And I make that 12 points for the Fighting Muskies. So they already have 4 guys in double digits for this team. As we said before, they needed to spread the ball around a little bit more in this game to be competitive against Capital, and they certainly have done so.
Austin Schreck doing a lot of offensive moves in the low post, able to get Powell to commit the foul, and Jarrell Marsh to commit the foul, and Austin Schreck is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. Jarrell Marsh's first foul of this ball game. Schreck's first free throw is good. 64-60 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Checking back into the ball game for the Crusaders, number 4, Brennan Zukrin. Schreck's second free throw, it rims in. 64-62 lead for the Fighting Muskies. Tight ball game here with 5.5 remaining. Page to Jarrell Marsh. Marsh to Page. To Devon Pert at the right corner. Back to Page, right wing. Back to Jarrell Marsh at the left wing. Marsh. To Jalen Page, left wing. Page, back to Marsh. Back to Devon Pert. 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Muskies don't notice it. Devon Pert finally gets one to go, and it's good! Devon Pert gets the last second three-pointer to go. 67-61 lead for the Fighting Muskies.
Pert has definitely been impressive tonight as he beats the buzzer on the shot clock to extend the Muskies' lead.
Weinhardt, his three-pointer is good for Joey Weinhardt. He's finding his stroke tonight as he has 23 points. Checking into the game for the Fighting Muskies is number 1, Marcus Dempsey. As Devon Pert, like you said, he's having himself a good night as he has 15 points. He had 15 points against John Carroll, now has 15 in this one. Marsh. Back to Page. Again, those Crusaders sitting in that 1-3-1 zone. Marsh to Marcus Dempsey, top of the key. Dempsey to Page. To Howell at the free throw line. Kicks it out to Jerome Marsh. His left wing three, no good. Rebounded by Austin Schreck of the Crusaders. Nearly stolen by Devon Pert as he tried to get a quick one, but not able to get the steal. Woodermuth to Caleb Cox. His layup is good in the post for Woodermuth. And we have a timeout on the play by the Fighting Muskies. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more of your second half action right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on YouTube at Orbit Media TV.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
And we are back live from the ANC Steel Center as the Muskies take a 1-point lead with 4:03 remaining in the second half, 67-66. We're going to go down to Andrew Dunlap, who has an update for us. Andrew?
All right, thanks, guys. I was able to listen in to what Coach Schwab had to say in this particular timeout. He emphasized whenever the Crusaders were running their 1-3-1 zone defense, he strongly emphasized feeding it to our post guys, making strong cuts, high post and short corner, and those cuts to the basket. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Andrew. 4:03 remaining in the ballgame, 67-66. Lead for the Fighting Muskies. Dempsey to Jalen Page near the right wing. Back to Dempsey. Dempsey back to Page, right corner, to Brandon Keys. Tips it ahead to Marcus Dempsey at the top of the key. Dempsey to Jarrell Marsh. Marsh gets it ahead. Tipped by Austin Schreck, and it will still be Fighting Muskies basketball with 11 seconds left. As those Crusaders are sitting in that 1-3-1 zone, and the Muskies are just trying to carve out something here to get a good shot off. Dempsey gets a screen from Brandon Keys. Dempsey, top of the key. He has 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Sees the shot clock, and it looks like he was fouled by by number 10, Gavin Woodermuth. The Muskies are in the bonus, and Marcus Dempsey is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws, as he will get 2 shots. Dempsey's first free throw is front of the rim, no good. Free throws are going to be very important here down this stretch, and you can't be missing those ones.
Absolutely, as both teams are in the bonus, as they've been in the bonus for quite a while now, so fouls and free throws are definitely going to play a factor in today's game.
Marcus Dempsey makes his second free throw, though. 68-66 lead for the Fighting Muskies. 3:30 remaining in this ballgame. Woodermuth to Schreck near the right wing. He drives, gets it out to Bradfield. That was Zukrin. Back to Woodermuth, right wing. Back to Schreck, right wing once again. Gets a screen from Cox, and he rolls to the layup for an easy layup, and we got a tall tie ball game here at 68 with 3 minutes remaining in this game. Dempsey gets it to Marsh. Back to Dempsey near the right wing. Dempsey back to Marsh at the right corner. Marsh gets it to Dempsey. Dempsey back to Page. Page back to Dempsey near the left wing. Dempsey looking for his three-point shot. Bang for Marcus Dempsey. 71-68 lead for the Fighting Muskies as Dempsey was finally getting one of his three-pointers to go down in the second half.
And there it is, 20 points in the game for Marcus Dempsey. A great game for most of the Muskies on this roster, as multiple Muskies have double-digit points.
As Zukrin missed the jump shot, and it was tipped out of play by one of the Crusaders, and Muskies will retain the possession. As Dempsey will bring it up for the Fighting Muskies, and the Crusaders sit in that 1-3-1 zone. Dempsey. Back to Marsh. Marsh to Keys. Dempsey's second three-pointer. Bang! Once again for Marcus Dempsey. Back-to-back three-pointers for the leading scorer for the Fighting Muskies.
And just like that, Dempsey makes it go from a tied ball game to a 6-point game.
Shrek's jump shot is no good. Rebounded by Bodermuth, but it was tipped on the play by Jarrell Marsh, and he is fouled on the play by Joey Weingarten. It was pretty rough foul on that one.
That was
he got clotheslined, it looked like.
Rough foul indeed. I was going to say right around the neck, as Marsh will go to the line, as for the past 8 minutes the Capital Crusaders are in the bonus, but as you said, that was a rough penalty.
But Jarrell Marsh will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws, and that is Joey Weingart's third foul of the ball game. Marsh's first free throw is good. 75-68, a minute 47 remaining in this ball game. Second free throw for Jarrell Marsh is no good, rimmed out, rebounded by Zukrin. And he'll get it ahead to Woodermuth. It's a screen from Cox. His jump shot is no good, rebounded by Devon Porter, the Fighting Muskies. As Page will bring it up the court and get it to Dempsey. Dempsey is fouled by Zukrin, as it looks like this is going to be the foul and shoot game, as Dempsey's going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. So here we go. Free throw is going to be very key here in this final minute and a half.
Just looking at the stats for the Fighting Muskies, they have missed at least 6 free throws right now, so this could have been way out of the Muskies' hands, as it is now an 8-point game as Dempsey makes that one to make it 24 points on the night by the sophomore. But yeah, the Muskies probably could have been leading by a lot more had they hit some of those more crucial free throws. However, can't complain with an 8-point, now make it 9-point lead.
Dempsey was able to knock down those two free throws. 77-68 lead for the Fighting Muskies. We have a timeout here, it looks like, by the Fighting Muskies. 30-second timeout, so we're going to keep it right here. A minute 28 left. Again, free throw is going to be very key here, and defense is going to be very key for the Fighting Muskies to be able to pull this one out.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said, free throws and penalties may come down. That tough foul against Jarrell Marsh earlier may have probably cost the Capital Crusaders the game, as it is a 9-point lead now for the Muskies. It was much closer when that foul happened. It was just a loose ball situation. Player just probably got too ahead of himself and a little bit too aggressive, obviously, for the foul. And then Marsh was able to hit his free throw. But yeah, you just gotta keep your head in the game. You just can't make small mistakes like that, because those small mistakes will eventually add up.
And the Muskies bring a full court pressure to hopefully waste that clock here and try to get the Crusaders to turn over the ball, and they finally get it across the court in time. Campbell is back into the ballgame for the Crusaders as well, and he will get it to Cox. Back to Campbell. Drives in, and we have a blocking foul on Jalen Page, and Campbell is going to go to the free throw line to shoot free throws.
Page was able to pick up a charge earlier in the game, but the refs were not having it this time.
Campbell will go to the free throw line. And checking into the ballgame for the Fighting Muskies is number 5, Tyler Bartle. Oh, excuse me, he will not check back into the ballgame. Not yet. We have 2 shots here for Campbell. His first free throw is good for Cameron Campbell, 77-69. And now Bartle will check back in for the Fighting Muskies. And for the Crusaders is number 10, Gavin Wildermuth. Campbell's second free throw is up and good for Cameron Campbell. 77-70 lead for the Fighting Muskies, and the Crusaders will provide the full court pressure to see if the Muskies can turn this ball over. But Jalen Page will get it to Devon Pert. Sees some open teammates, but he is fouled as he was trying to get it ahead to one of his open teammates, and Devon Pert will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws.
Good job by Pert to draw those fouls in a crucial situation as the Capital Crusaders continue to rack up fouls.
And Devon Pert will go to the free throw line. His first free throw. Rims in. 78-70 lead for the Fighting Muskies. 1:06 remaining. Brandon Keys will check back into the ballgame for the Fighting Muskies with his 4 fouls. Pert. Second free throw is good for Devon Pert. 79-70 lead, and that is Pert's 17th points of the night.
Great night for Pert, who led the team last week against John Carroll.
As Caleb Cox got a little careless with the ball, and he got a double dribble. Turnover for the Crusaders. And check it back into the ballgame for Brandon Keys is Bartle. And for the Crusaders, Gavin Woodermuth. Crusaders, again, doing the full court pressure. Page will throw it in. And he's going to call a timeout as Jalen Page. And he will go to the coach. We're going to keep it right here. It looks like we're going to take a quick break as it is a full timeout, so keep it right here on WMCO Orbit Television and on YouTube at Orbit Media TV.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul.
Estimated time, 47 hours.
They will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
And we are back live from the ANC Steel Center as the Muskies call the timeout to try and break this full court pressure as they are ahead 79-70 with 59 seconds remaining. I am Joe Scott alongside Andrew Dunlap and Logan Weaver. And we're going to go to Andrew real quick with an update. Andrew, what do you got for us?
All right, thanks, guys. We got the Muskies are being told to get ready for the traps. They're going to be coming as soon as they inbound the ball instantly. I mean, the Muskies are going to be try to look for other ways to find the inbound pass open, and so they have to be ready and think fast when that comes, guys.
All right, thank you, Andrew. As Jarrell Marsh was fouled on the play, and he's going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws, and that first one is good for Jarrell Marsh. That is his 17th point of the night.
And now a 10-point lead as the Crusaders will need a miracle to come back here against the Fighting Muskies. 80-70 is the score, just under a minute remaining. Make it 81-70.
81-70 lead. Jarrell Marsh makes his 2 free throws, his 18th point of the night. Campbell will bring it up for the Crusaders, and almost stolen by Jarrell Marsh. Austin Schreck's three-pointer is no good. Went a little too high, hits off the shot clock, and that is a turnover. Fighting Muskie basketball. As number 5 for the Fighting Muskies, Tyler Bartle will check back in. And Page will throw it in for the Fighting Muskies. He will get it to Jarrell Marsh at the right corner as he's trapped on the play. He will try to throw it to Bartle, and he is able to, and he is fouled on the play by Joey Weinhardt. A little tackle there as Joey Weinhardt was trying to get the foul, a little too aggressive, but Tyler Bartle will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. And that is Weinhardt's 4th foul of the night with 41 seconds remaining. 81-70 lead for the Fighting Muskies. As Bardo will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. First free throw is good for Tyler Bartle. And checking into the game for the Crusaders is number 4, Brennan Zukrin. Second free throw for Baldo is good. 83-70 lead for the Fighting Muskies, and Brandon Keys will check back into the ballgame for the Fighting Muskies. And Campbell will ring it up for the Crusaders. Campbell. And almost stolen by Devon Pert as he got his hands caught once again. And Campbell is going to go to the free throw line for 2 free throws. And that is Devon Pert's 3rd foul of the night.
I see we have Brandon Keys in only 1 point on the night, and that was the very first point for the Fighting Muskies, but he is getting close to foul trouble, so he needs to watch it. But on the flip side, Capital has 3 players in foul trouble with 4 fouls apiece.
As Campbell missed his first free throw. Second free throw attempt for Campbell is good. 83-71 lead for the Fighting Muskies, as Page will throw it in and try and break this full court pressure. Page will get it to Devon Pert, who loses the ball, but it looks like he was fouled by Gavin Wildermuth. And Devon Pert's going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. 32.6 seconds remaining in this ball game. As Devon Pert will look to add to his total tonight, as he's had himself a good night.
Absolutely, 17 points already on the night so far for Devon Pert, looking to add more here, as it will now be 18 points.
Makes his first free throw, 84-71 lead for the Fighting Muskies. 32.6 seconds remaining. Brandon Keys will check back into the ball game for the Fighting Muskies. Pert, second free throw attempt is good. 19th point for Devon Pert. Campbell bringing up for the Crusaders as the Muskies look to hopefully not foul here. Let the clock wind down. Shrek to Zukrin, who will get it to Cox, and Cox is now able to corral it. It's picked up by Jarrell Marsh, but Campbell will foul for the Crusaders, and it looks like that will be his 5th foul of the ballgame, and Campbell has fouled out.
And it is a 14-point lead for the Muskies, just over 20 seconds to go here in the second half and for the game. So Muskies can start thinking about victory for this game and their second one, getting back to 500 in the OAC Conference.
Good hard-fought battle here between 2 OAC teams looking to get their first win, but Muskies were able to do a lot of good things here in the second half and able to pull away. Jerome Marsh, first free throw is good. His 19th point of the night. Looking for his 20th right here on this free throw. And I cursed him. Zari Jarrell. Weinhardt, deep three-pointer. Good for Joey Weinhardt. His 26th point of the night, the high man for the Crusaders tonight. As the Muskies will dribble this one out. We got 10 seconds, 7 seconds, as Jerome Marsh will dribble out. And that is it, as the Muskies take an 86-74 victory in their first OAC win of the night, of the season. And a big night for the Muskies as they get their first win, as they go to 1-1 in OAC play and 2-5. And the Crusaders go to 2-5 overall and 0-2 in conference play. And we're going to go down to Andrew Dunlap, who has Coach Schwab for us. Andrew, what do you got?
All right, thanks, guys. Now, Coach, you emphasized to me during pregame that it's about working together to step up for the fallen people that are gone with injury. Was this what you had in mind with 4 people putting up double-digit points?
This is what we've been looking for all year. You know, we got our normal big games out of Dempsey and Marsh, but for Devon Pert to come up and step up the way he did was a huge shot in the arm. And let's not forget about Brandon Keys. First start, really first varsity action. That dude, I'm so damn proud of him. And those are some big dudes he's going against. So overall, just really happy with the team effort today.
And then it looked like you completely suffocated the Crusaders on the defense. Every time they tried to feed it down low, you guys were able to steal the pass. Was that your plan of attack on defense going in?
Well, obviously when you have a 6-foot center, you just can't play behind them. So we had to fight and scratch and claw. And it came down to sheer effort and toughness. So I'm really proud of my team.
All right, that's all I have for you. Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Andrew. Coach Schwab very impressed with his players tonight as they get the big victory in OAC play and the first OAC win of the season.
Yeah, it was. Oh, sorry, Joe.
Go ahead. Go.
Yeah,
No, you got it.
Yep. But yeah, it was a great win for the Muskies, a very impressive one at that. Capital may not be the best team in the conference, but at least they were able to stop the bleeding in the season and was able to pick up a win here in front of the home crowd. And like we said, it's a very long season, so definitely a lot to look forward to. Hopefully we see the same Muskie team for the rest of the year. If so, it'll be a great season.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have your post-game report, so keep it right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on YouTube at Orbit Media TV.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
Estimated time 47 hours.
they will beg,
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
they will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated,
tonight, and Andrew Dunlap was your sideline report tonight. So big win for the Fighting Muskies tonight as they get their first OAC win of the season. It was good to see some players step up and some players' absences and a lot of players contribute tonight.
Absolutely. Another big performance by Marcus Dempsey with over 20 points once again for the year, keeping up with his average. Jarrell Marsh was pretty impressive tonight as well, but I want to give a shout-out to Devon Pert for a great game tonight, as well as Brandon Keys did pretty well, as we heard Coach Schwab there in the pregame say he was pretty impressed with his performance. Despite the 1 point in the game, he did pretty well on defense and rebounds, so he gives a shout-out to him as well.
You think a player, and people are like, you see a player with 1 point, they're like, well, he didn't do much. But no, he had a lot of great effort plays, a lot of key rebounds. Hey, he's not the tallest guy in the world. He played a lot of guys that were 6'7", 6'8", but he did very well in the post and held himself down in the ground and did very well for himself. And his first, like Coach said, his first real varsity action.
Yeah, absolutely. And the brother of Josh Keys, who is now playing overseas, he was very tall. Brandon Keys, not quite the same build as what Josh Keys is, and playing that same position as his older brother did here with the Fighting Muskies. It kind of seemed odd because we saw the height differential between Keys tonight and some of the Crusaders. There was that height differential, but other than that, he was still able to perform. Sure, he had the 1 point. It was the first point of the game, though, so he can say that he scored the first point of the game. So that kind of, in a way, got the Muskies started. But, yeah, I'd say that Keys did a pretty good job, especially in rebounding. He was very aggressive early on, and I think that this is definitely impressive for Keys. Despite the 1 point from a free throw, he was very impressive and may, from what I could tell, may get some starting time later on in the season.
Probably get some playing time. We'll see how Jake Geller's injury is progressing through the season, but could see some more Brandon Keys here in the coming weeks. And the Capital Crusaders on the side of things, they played a pretty solid ball game in their own. That 1-3-1 was giving the Muskies a lot of trouble, and they kept going to it throughout the game, and that was their main defense. But, again, the Capital Crusaders, a tough loss here, but hoping to regain some momentum here in the next few games, as Weinhardt had a really good game with 26 points, so they got a lot of good things to look forward to in the future.
Absolutely, and, yeah, the Crusaders kept it close pretty early in the game. Both teams started out very aggressive in this game, both offensively and defensively, and then the Crusaders started to slow things down. Muskies didn't quite adapt to that, so that gave the Crusaders about a 7-point lead in the game. So with that, it thought that maybe Capital may come out with a win here, and it wasn't looking too good for the Fighting Muskies, but the Muskies took a timeout, regathered themselves, slowed things down, and were able to come back with the lead into the half and then come away with a victory. And one thing that we said that going into the second half, maybe foul trouble may come into the game as both teams had a decent amount of fouls in the first half, and that was certainly the case here for today's game.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more of your post-game report right here on WMCO, Orbit Television, and on your YouTube channel, Orbit Media TV.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
Estimated time 47 hours.
they will beg,
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
they will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
And we are back live from the NC Steel Center for your post-game report with me, Joe Scott, and Logan Weaver, as the Fighting Muskies get their first OAC win of the year against the Capital Crusaders, 86-74. So we're going to go to our players of the game so far. I think for me, for the Fighting Muskies, you would think Marcus Dempsey led the team with 23 points, but I think you got to give it to Devon Pert, who had a great game with 17 points. 4 steals on the night, played very well defensively, and brought a lot of energy to these Fighting Muskies tonight.
Yeah, Pert had an amazing game coming off the bench at that. So he was one of the top scorers for tonight. Obviously, got to give credit to Marcus Dempsey for being the top scorer, though he did have a bit of a cold spell during the game. Tweaked his ankle just a little bit, but was able to recover from that. But, yeah, it was a very competitive game early on, even into part of the second half, where at one point it was a one-point game at about 66-65, right around there. So it was a very close game up until that point, and then foul trouble late in the game is what cost Capital the game ultimately. But if they hadn't, they were in bonus time right around halfway through the second half. So with that really sank them in and was basically an indicator for what was all to come.
And for the Crusaders, I had to go to Joey Weinhardt, who had a great game, 26 points, led the team, had a lot of great shots, had a great smooth stroke, and he's my player of the game for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and it seemed like the Crusaders relied a little bit too much on him throughout the game. He did end up with 26 points, but the rest of the team had a little bit of foul trouble in the game as well. So, and then that was a result of the first half and the second half as well. Some of them were getting close to fouling out as well. So foul trouble is what ultimately cost the Crusaders in this game, as free throws were definitely a critical factor.
As the Muskies get the big win, 86-74. Looking ahead in the week for the Fighting Muskies, they have a home game back here in the NC Steel Center against Baldwin Wallace. Tip is at 4 o'clock. So the Muskies hope to hopefully get their second straight OAC victory on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this is my final game as a Muskie broadcaster.
Don't get me started.
But yeah, at least the Muskies were able to come away with the win, and it's been a lot of fun covering anything from we first did lacrosse together, Joe, and then did a couple John going little Muskie football games this year. That was a great season for them, coming close to a state title, and then getting to call basketball was a lot of fun.
Oh, see, he made me cry. He's going to make me do it. But you're not done with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here for another couple more games and more, but we want to thank Logan and everybody for their effort and all their support who've worked on the Orbit Media Sports staff. Andrew Dunlap, he'll call the game for the Lady Muskies this Saturday. I'll be there alongside him. That'll be his final call as well, so you do not want to miss that, because we will have the Lady Muskie game with pregame for radio on 1:30 and TV on 1:50. We will call that game, but we will not be able to call the game for the men. But there's a doubleheader for 2 and 4 for the Lady Muskies and the Muskies. For Logan Weaver, for the final time, I'm Joe Scott and Andrew Dunlap. Muskies win 86-74. Have a great night, New Concord.